best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming.
The courage involved in being able to stand up in front of a crowd and sing when you've only ever sung in the shower all by yourself is something that is incredibly courageous. And there's a strategy or this same principle that is also applied in, say, sales, any sort of human behavior, anything in general, because it does just take that first initial person to be able to come up with the idea of like, okay, I'm going to be the one that sings. I'm going to be the one that puts myself in this very uncomfortable situation, because we can see Zoe's character in Elf. She's like, I don't want to do this. This is the last thing that I want to do. I don't want to be standing up in front of all of these people singing a song when all I've ever done is sing in the shower. And that's why hearing her say, singing loud for all to hear is the best way to spread Christmas cheer, I was like, okay, that's incredible that she had the courage to be able to stand up. And nobody else would have sang, because like the first person is just the one that initiates the leader. And I was talking about this on my podcast the other night as well too, where it just takes that first initial person to be able to have the courage to stand up, to step out, to make videos, to start the conversation. And then for that to truly grow into a movement is we need to have the second person. That's why when we see Buddy's stepmom start to sing as well too, she was the crazy nut. And there's a theory, I think Malcolm Gladwell talks about that in one of his books. I can't recall the book off the top of my head. I think it's The Tipping Point, but it could also be Outliers. I'm not 100% sure. But he talks about how it's just like, it just takes that first initial person that is the crazy nut that follows along with the initial person that started singing to then create that movement of everybody else wanting to do the exact same thing. Robert Cialdini talks about that in his book Influence, and this is a story that I relayed. So we can all say, picture ourselves walking outside and we're looking up at a tree. And let's say within that tree, we want to see a snake or a bird. And then there's not a bird or a snake in the tree to begin with, but we can be looking up and like just staring at that tree and like, okay, yeah, I see a bird in the tree right now when there's no bird to begin with. And we're looking up, everybody's just walking by as they typically normally would. Then we have that second person that we want to test like the social experiment with. And we have that second person that comes in and they start talking about how it's like, oh, hey, yeah, so we have this bird in the tree. The bird's pretty fascinating to be able to see. We see it, but it's not actually there. And then we have those two people and they start seeing it and they like, hey, do you see? We see other people walking by on the street, or other people are like, hey, what are you guys looking at? Like, oh, there's just this bird up in the tree. It's like, do you see it? Like, it's right on this little branch right there. And then the third person is like, oh yeah, no, I see that. And then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have all these other people that start looking up at the tree and being like, oh, hey, I do see a bird up there, when there was never a bird to begin with. And it's funny how our minds work, because having that first person that decides to be like, okay, I'm going to pretend that there's a bird in this tree, and then nobody else is going to believe me until that second person, such as Buddy's stepmom in the movie Elf, she comes by and she looks up and she's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to sing along with Zoe. I'm going to start singing this song too. And then everybody else starts to come around as well too, because it's always hard. First, it's hard to be the first person that stands up and makes that decision to show the change that we're looking to have. It's even harder for the second person to have the courage to want to include or jump in with that group as well too. And we were talking about this story on this podcast as well that I recorded last night. I can't remember the movie that he was talking about, because he also couldn't remember the movie either, but he was telling a story about how there's this group and nobody was dancing, and they're like out at the dinner, and the girl that he was on the date with was like, hey, I want to go dancing. The guy was like, I don't want to dance. Like, that's not something that I want to do. And she's like, well, nobody else is dancing, so why would we be dancing? And she's like, let's just go dance. And they go up and they start dancing. She's doing this weird, crazy dance was what he was telling me. And then he decides to start dancing himself. And then like they do this like weird little like jig and dance and have a great time. And then all of a sudden the whole dance floor is filled with other people dancing. So it comes down to being that first person that has the courage to sing and to start dancing, or to start making videos or having content or conversations. Like, you be the one to open the door, and then you can allow other people to come through that door. You can allow other people to like join in on the conversation, and maybe allow isn't the best word, but you can have other people join in on your escapades, on your journey, on your adventure. And it's really interesting and it's a sight to see, because it's something that I can tell you for a fact that if you're willing to give this a try, like try it out with your friends or anybody that you're like acquainted with, and try to see if you can maybe get people. I wouldn't say like do it in a manipulative way. By all means, don't do that. But if there's something that you want to try, give it a go. And in all likelihood, there's going to be one other person that'll also support you and that'll also have the same vision or views that you do. And by that being the case, then you can start to spread the Christmas cheer, and you can help Santa's sleigh fly again, because you did bring back the Christmas spirit. Whereas if you didn't have the courage, I didn't have the courage to step up and make these videos in a different manner, then there wouldn't be the crazy nut. You guys are the crazy nut in a sense. It's symbolic. But like, you wouldn't be the ones that following along with the conversations that I have. That's why I was really appreciative of the people that have joined me on my lives over these past couple of weeks, because it's been I've enjoyed it a lot. It's been really fun just getting to talk with you guys and get to know you on the other side of the screen, because I feel like there's a disconnect that comes along with creating YouTube videos. And being able to have a conversation with you and see like, hey, these are things that you're also interested in, and we can have conversations that go in depth either around anime, personal growth, therapy, business, whatever it may be. I've really enjoyed that quite a lot. So I want to say thank you guys for that. And I'll be doing another live stream on Saturday. At least that's the plan. Do live streams every Saturday evening-ish for the time being. It might change to a Friday or a Thursday or something like that. But right now we'll do another episode I can't do next Saturday. So we'll do an episode on Friday, I believe. We can do that most likely, and that may change. We'll figure that out as the time goes. But just the main takeaway, you guys, is just like looking at this as having the courage to stand up in front of everybody else, in front of your family, and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing now. This is my life. This is the decision that I made. I'm making podcast videos. I'm relaying different concepts and ideas throughout movies or anime or TV shows that I watched, or we all watched when we were growing up, to help you have a different perspective around them, because I have a feeling that you probably haven't looked at it in this way. I didn't look at it in that way either. And I have another video I think I'll be coming out with either in the couple of days. I'm going to think about it. But it'll be around like Aang and Zuko, how he had to fight inner demons within himself. So to make sure that you don't miss out on that video, just click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss another one of these videos such as this. Otherwise, you guys can share these videos with your friends, your family, other people that you think would find value in this, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.